Well, I was just sitting here going, what am I going to say? And the truth is that thanks to Tom Bird, I'm beat to shit. I am just beat to shit. Because I was so literally constipated before I met him. And he's the only human being on the planet that can pull my head out of my rear. And in order for him to do that, he has to, brace the thing and, do the whole thing. But he can do that, and so I am very grateful to him for doing that. As we all have seen and observed, he definitely is a divine messenger. He gets a tap on the shoulder, I think, from each of our writing angels and says, go get them. And a lot of us, there's always some magic and mystery about Tom's seminars and how we end up here. I mean, all of a sudden I've been on Devara's list for years, and very quickly the story of how I discovered Tom was my life had gone down the tube. Went from making bunches of money, being real successful and at the top of my field, to no gigs and bad economy and no relationship and living in a tiny apartment for the first time in 19 years and trying to figure out what I was supposed to do. So I got so frustrated and so depressed and so upset with my angels and guides because they weren't saving me from this horrible life that I was living, that I laid down and I said, give me a dream, show me what I'm supposed to do in this dream. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. I always try to listen, I'm trying to be good, be a good spiritual person, do what you're supposed to do. So I lay down in the bed and I have this dream, and the dream is it's like the view coming down into like a Barnes and Noble or Borders. And I've known all my life that I'm a writer, and I know I'm supposed to write multiple books, but all this fear and constipation and all this other stuff couldn't do it. So the dream comes down, my book is on the end cap, and I pick it up and I can feel it, I can feel its weight, I can smell it, I can feel the cover in my hands. I mean, it is about as real as anything could ever possibly be. And so I'm experiencing the wonder and the reality of this book in my hand. It was hardcover. And I said, okay, I get it, I'm supposed to write, but I never really knew what I was supposed to write either. I mean, I teach for a living too, and I do seminars, and it's really hard for a seminar facilitator to be in somebody else's seminar and not facilitate. But anyway, no one's noticed that, I'm sure. And I will say this, if you do have a retreat in November, let's have it at a time when I'm not personally processing all my anger and hostility and powerless issues. Okay? That would be helpful for everyone. So anybody that got the brunt of that, I really apologize. I'm not normally that reactive. But as you know, you come in here, this stuff comes up. So anyway, so I get it from this dream, and I'm like, okay, great. I know I'm supposed to write a book. What am I supposed to write? And then I said, universe, you're going to have to send me a guide, because I can't do this by myself. I have a voracious, vicious left brain that is just razor sharp, and so many therapists have been like, whoa, I don't want to deal with that thing. That thing is just nasty. Sorry, that's the most vicious, rabid left brain I've ever seen in my life. Because they would dialogue with it for hours and just be like, okay, I'm sorry, you win, whatever. And I live with this all the time, And so this was my reality. I'm supposed to do all these things, and I can't because I have this nasty left brain. So I asked the universe for a guide. Literally, I got it from the dream, went downstairs, checked my email, because as my wife will attest, I am an email addict. And there's an email about Tom Bird's March workshop. I mean, number one, top thing, first thing in my inbox, there's the email. I've never heard of him. I get Devara's newsletter all the time. Popped up, number one, right there in my inbox. I said, okay. So I think I signed up for the webinar. I missed the first 3 because I was traveling and doing all this kind of stuff, couldn't connect. Obviously I wasn't ready, whatever. And then I listened to one of them, and it was like, okay, that's cool, that's cool. And I left him a message, and he called me back. And it was like magic. It was like God reaching out and saying, okay, you're in a net now. I think a lot of us were out there floundering, feeling what the heck, and we need to get caught. So Tom's the big catch bin, he's the big net for all the stray writers in the world. So in the last 4 months, I've written 3.5 books. I never thought I could write 20,000 words in a day and still have a wrist to talk about it. And so, it's just this process, and, it's all about surrender, and I didn't know that. I thought it was all about, tweaking it in mind, and it's not. And so, thanks to Tom for bringing us through that. And the process, we're all divinely picked to be in this room together. And I went to another retreat in March, the first one, and it was a totally different experience. And it's like just such perfection. And my experience in each of these retreats is that there really is something out there supporting us. There's something out there connecting us. There's something out there that really is working for each of us. And that alone is just such a powerful, magical thing. So I'm really grateful to all of you for being here. And good luck to everybody. Awesome.